Okay, here we are. Carpet is removed. So, there it is. Some spots were not as bad as I thought. Some of them a little worse. This seems to be a common spot for me right here. It's looking good. I'm not sure about all this foam. I don't know how hard it is to get behind that. Well, not that difficult. Still water and shit back here. Passenger side isn't that bad. It doesn't look like it needs too much floor work. Maybe a couple little patches or some shit. That's good. Not in dire need of floor pans. Now, this side, got a nice little hole here. There's a hole here. That's what I was pushing my pry bar against when I was trying to get that transmission thing in there. Look at that. Good to know that's so strong. Yeah, this whole side over here is starting to go out. That's not cool. Okay. Well, that was fun. I also found another hole. There's a bunch of dirt there. I moved the dirt out of the way. It fucking fell through. I was like, oh, that's nice. Thanks. Some fucking piece of shit. Seatbelts. Yeah. Alright, so, still in the process of grinding. You'll notice these holes are opening up a lot more. That's mildly upsetting. I took this plug out by accident, and this one's getting close. But, yeah, as you can see, the more I go through, the more fucking holes I'm seeing. And, yeah, I'm glad I did this. I don't want to know what this looks like on the other side. Probably not all that great. But I'm going to keep at it, see if I can get more on this wall over here, and see what I can find over there. Hopefully there's not that much on that side. I see that little hole over there. But, I don't know. Time to keep grinding. Okay, here's the latest update. I did the passenger side and also vacuumed out the driver's side again. Fucking dust and rust and everything flies around. So this part right here is looking, interesting. You know, decent amount of rust there. So, I'll have to do something about that. Nice. Got a spot here. But, I think I gotta take this stuff out. That's not looking too nice either. But, yeah. The back's not too bad. There's a couple little holes. But, nothing terrible. So, I'm glad I started this, because there was more damage than I thought. But still not enough that I am upset. I was expecting it. So as you can see over here, there's plenty of little spots over here. This whole area is looking iffy. Got some big holes. So, now you know what to look for in your Jeep. And then we'll take the back out next at some point. Not too bad. I couldn't take these fucking things out. I think they're riveted in there. That doesn't look like a screw to me. So, I just cut around the carpet. Simple enough. So, I don't know. Doesn't look too bad. I'm not seeing any holes yet, so that's cool, but we do have a, large patches of rust. I don't know. I'll have to sand that all down and see what that looks like, but that's cool. Okay, time to have some fun in the back. So as you notice, I took everything out now, because when you use this little freaking wire brush thing, all the rust dust gets fucking everywhere, and I don't want my seats to have rust on them and shit, so. Yep, that is everything out of the Jeep. So, I'm gonna run this little guy around and see what these things look like after we're done. See if there's any holes. that'd be cool. Vroom vroom. So I've been sitting under here digging away at all this frickin' body sealer stuff that they used from the factory. And it's not looking too pretty over by where this gas tank thing is. You can just get underneath there and there's tons of crummy rust. And it's not very easy to get off. I mean, it's easy to get off where the rust is. I'm just taking a screwdriver and just jamming it in there and lifting up. That's the easiest way I've found for the rust, at least. But not looking too good over here, so yeah. Glad I'm checking that out. More rust to check out. So this is in the passenger rear. And you notice some holes under there. Slowly peeling back all this seam sealer shit. So I went underneath, I'm like, I wonder how bad these holes are. And then I noticed there's a nice little rust patch here. So, better check that one out. So coming underneath here, peeling all this back, you can see a lovely hole. So, I'm gonna keep peeling this back and see what I find. Alright, well, it looks like I might be replacing a little bit more than I thought I was originally going to replace. It seems like this is real weak. This is paper thin right here. This whole section. And there's nothing for this to connect to, so I'll probably cut a nice chunk out here to weld all this back together. Also, there's a star bolt right there, but it's covered in seam sealer, so I don't think I'll be able to fit the bit in there. And this stuff is a pain in the ass to pick out, so I don't think I'll be able to clean this thread, you know, whatever the hell you'd like to call that, to actually get that fucking thing out. But that's what holds part of that spring perch on right there. That's a rather decent sized hole right there. So that'll need some work if I, you know, want my suspension to last, considering here's the other part of the fucking thing right there. Yeah. So, good thing I caught that. So if that whole thing fucking rots out, your suspension is just gonna fall right through the floor. Alright, well, I might start picking up some more of this just to see if there's any other rust down the line. Oh man, it takes fucking forever with this chisel, but it does get it out eventually. Okay, so this seam sealer stuff is definitely worth peeling up just to see what's underneath, because I'm finding all kinds of interesting spots under here. You can see where the floor pan connects to the side. I guess this is the rocker. I don't know. But like right here, completely rusted. It actually started peeling away. But that's what's hiding underneath all this sealer shit. So even if you think, oh yeah, the rust is only here, well no, now it's starting to come up on this. And if you come over here, that's what's underneath. So I have to keep peeling this back and see where the good metal actually starts. But so far my preferred method is using this chisel and a hammer. I'm wondering if an air hammer would work any better, or any easier at least. I don't have one on me, but that would make this a hell of a lot quicker. You can see the stuff I found over there too. A couple little pieces here and there. So definitely important to check under there if you care about getting all the rust out in one shot. So, look what I found. I started digging underneath this side, and I noticed the seam sealer was really bulging up on this spot. So I'm like, alright, let's check it out. These holes weren't here before, but once I started knocking with the chisel, really poking in there, all this shit just started falling through. So I'm going to see how much more of this sealer I can get off and really check this area out. But like I said, you really got to check under this stuff, because like all this stuff right here, this is clean, this is good. All where the spot welds were, that's starting to rust out. So I'm going to keep going underneath all this and really see what I can find. And these areas are very important because, you know, your spring perches are there. So it's very good that I caught this when I did, because you don't want to catch this on the trail when your entire fucking leaf spring falls off on you, because that would suck. Oh boy. Keep digging. So, Something else to look out for when you're cleaning up everything. There's two different things I've noticed that attract rust. If you notice here, there's a bunch of spot welds. They're all starting to rust out. So that's the one thing you want to look for, is if you find any spot welds, and this is all underneath of all this sealer shit or whatever the hell you'd like to call it. The other part is every now and then you'll find spots like this. Here's a spot, and here's one I just picked up, and look what I found under here. Water. So yeah, this stuff is good at holding water, and it's no good. So I'm gonna try and get as much off as I can, at least that I see that needs to get off, because you'll notice right here, like at the edges where the rust is, it starts to go in underneath of it. So you gotta look out for that, because it would suck if you coat all this and then find out that you thought you got all the rust, but everything that's underneath is still rusted out. So you gotta look out for that. We'll get to welding eventually, when I find all this rust. So the hole's a little bigger now. I finally decided to just start beating the crap out of it. I'm a little bored. So I kept hitting it until it stopped moving, really. So nothing else really moves. So that's a good way to figure out how big your hole really is. Start hitting it, and if it bends, it's probably too thin to be your floor. Once it stops bending, you probably found something that's, you know, still got some decency to it. You don't want metal that's gonna do this. I'm curious how that side fares. We'll start beating that one up next. It's kind of fun. Something else, hitting it from the bottom helps break up some more of the rust, and might show you a different story, because underneath there might be things like this area right here. You won't see that from inside, so check inside and outside to see how bad everything is. Look at how pretty. I grinded most of the rust scale off that I could get to, so anything that comes back now will just be surface rust. Didn't do the other side. Fucking takes too long and the batteries keep dying. So